Hello, and welcome to MechWarrior Online. Today I want to talk about some of the mechs that I enjoy playing the most. And for that, we have to go to the bays. So we'll start off with the assault mechs. Now, I like all these mechs for different reasons. And on this particular account, my PowerBassPolarBear account, this is the assaults that I have. By the way, you can see this is selected with both. I don't own any inner sphere mechs on this account. Or actually, I may actually own one or two in the heavies. But this account is primarily focused on my absolute favorite mechs that I enjoy. And the Rancor is no exception. This thing is just so much fun to play. I have 6 ATM-6s on this. Sometimes I run LRMs, but I do far more damage with 6 ATM-6s on this mech than anything else. And I love it when people are dumb enough to FaceTime with me. Because it's just not going to work out very well. A Crusader learned that early on. He tried to rush me. It was a crawl. And if he gets close enough, it's going to be a bad time for me. But in that jaunt to get as close as he could, I did an alpha strike. And I cored him out. And then I hit him with my 2 heavy medium lasers. And he was a chalk outline. And then there was another match I did recently at Mining Collective. And that didn't work out also for that crawl as well. I like putting crawls in the dirt. Next up, we have my Mad Cat 4. And this guy is so much fun. 4 ER medium lasers and 4 LRM 20s. Now, I switch this thing around from time to time. And I'll run 4 ATM 9s. And I've even gone as far as to run 4 ATM 12s. And it is entertaining, but it just doesn't dish out as much damage as the 4 ATM 9s. Probably because there's more ammo available and you have a slightly faster cooldown period. Actually, between ATM 9 and ATM 12, it's the same amount of cooldown. It's 5 seconds. It's 4 seconds for the ATM 6s and 3 seconds for the ATM 1s or ATM 3s. Yeah. And but it just seems to cycle better with the ATM 9s and the 12s, and you get more ammo, and you're not having to sacrifice. Moving on. I call this Alpha Dog because this is the Warhammer 2CA, and on this one, gosh, I can't even remember what I have on this guy. I have 1 ATM 12 and 2 ATM 9s. Because this has 3 missile points. And then you get, I have laser AMS, because I don't like carrying extra ammo. And 3 ER medium lasers. And let's count them. 5, 6, 7 double heat sinks. Now, I did the double heat sinks the way I did, like this and this, which seems counterintuitive. Like maybe I should put both the heat sinks in the legs. And the reason I did this is because I wanted to protect some of the ammo in case I start getting crit really bad. The chances of the legs going away are pretty low because most people are gonna focus on my taking my arms and my legs off. But this build does do quite a bit of damage, especially with the fact that in close range this does 30 damage. That's right, boys and girls, not just 24 at full range, but in close quarters. Between 60 meters and 281 meters, this does 30 damage. And then each one of these is doing 22 damage in that close range. So that is a lot of firepower. So that's 44 plus 30 is 54. That's 54 alone right there. And I can do that pretty often. Now, part of the reason I ran the ATM 12 over here versus 3 ATM 9s is because they both all of these have the same cooldown period. So this has a cooldown of 5 seconds, and so does this one. And they both have the same amount of cooldown reduction as well. This is not an Omnipod mech, so the way this is built is the way it comes. And this thing runs really well. Heat management, 1.42. I fire all 3 of these simultaneously almost every time. Sometimes I cycle them, but most of the time I fire these all at once, and it's just devastating. And then the speed on this mech is 77, which is really fast when you think about the fact that this is an assault mech. It's an 80-ton mech, but it's still an assault. Moving on. I call this guy Rain and Thunder. And you really have to look at the loadout to understand. 4 ATM-9s or 4 LRM-20s. It's pretty interchangeable. The only difference between the ATM-9s and the LRM-20s as far as firing is the LRM-20s are going to deliver the same amount of damage all the way out to 1265 or 1180, excuse me. Whereas this is going to go all the way out to 1375. Excuse me. But the big difference to me is that the ATM-9s are more of a direct fire and they're cooler. They actually run a little bit cooler than the LRM-20s do. So that's a big deal to me. This mech has 4 ER medium lasers on board, laser AMS, and 6 tons of double heat sinks, which gives us a cooling of 1.23. Not quite as good as the Alpha Dog, but this also has a little bit better firepower. And I typically cycle these because firing 4 ATM-9s does get hot really fast, especially with a heat management of 1.23. The firepower says 96, but we both know that that's quite a bit better than 96. Especially with the fact that these between 60 meters and 281 are delivering 22 damage. So that's 44. That's 88 damage right there alone. Plus you have 4 of these on board at 6, and that's 24 plus 88 is 110, I think. Yeah, I think that's about right. Anyway, my math's not great. Public school. Moving on to the heart of the matter. No assault mech I've ever owned does more damage than this mech here. Of all the assault mechs I've ever had, the Warhammer 2C number 2 does the most damage. You have the option for 5 missile points on this, and then 2 energy points. I'm running NARC and 4 LRM-20s, which is a terrible combination for anybody on the other end. Because once I target you, then I can lob missiles at you until that targeting goes away. And with the skill corked out for the NARC, it's going to be a bad time. You think you're afraid of a Nova Cat on the battlefield? No. You're afraid of this. Nova Cats are fun. And I do have quite a bit of fun with those, especially on the Nova Cat B. But this is the guy that's really freaky because this one has a lot more armor. And the missiles are on the inside as well. 2 heavy medium lasers on board. And what are we looking at? 10 tons of ammo with 1.5 tons of NARC. And the only reason I'm running 1.5 tons of NARC versus the way I normally do it, which is a 0.5 ton of NARC, is because I didn't need any more missiles. So I was like, hell with it. I'll fire these as many times as I want. Sometimes I fire these directly with the heavy medium lasers, because I'm not worried about it. I got lots of ammo. 15 there, and what are we talking about here? 7 here? Yeah, it's okay. As far as double heat sinks go, I've got 4 of them. Heat management's 1.18, not incredible, but it does work. And by the way, if you trade these out for 5 ATM-6s, that's also a deadly combination as well, and I do that quite often. Says firepower says 100, speed 64, and 1.16. And once again, this is not an Omnipod build. Moving on. I thought I actually might have a catapult on this account. Eben Jag Prime goes without say. This thing's a lot of fun. What are we talking about here? 2 ATM-9s, 2 ATM-6s, and ER medium laser. And I think I have machine guns on this one as well. Clan active probe and a targeting computer. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I rarely do over between 600 and 900 damage on this mech. Moving on to this guy here. 2 ATM-12s and 4 ER medium lasers. It actually has an option for a 5th ER medium laser, but I like the symmetry of just the standard, and I use that extra for extra ammo. My Hellfire C, it's got to be my top 5 LRM boats of all time. I don't drive it as much as I used to, but this guy just delivers. It just delivers. Whether it's ATMs or LRMs, it just goes. The Night Star is probably one of my least effective mechs, at least in my hands. I run 4 ATM-9s on this guy here, but I also sometimes run 4 LRM-20s the way it originally comes. And then I've got 2 ER medium ER large lasers in the torso and head. And that really dishes out the damage really well. Novacat B. Yeah, absolutely. 5 LRM-15s and a NARC on board with 2 ER medium lasers. And this is actually not that too dissimilar from the way it comes, except it comes originally with 6 LRM-15s. But by going with one of these as NARC, and you put this as the last one so that it's the highest point, which isn't much higher than the rest, but it's a little bit of extra help. By doing this and having the NARC on there so I can fire them more often when I get a lock, it actually adjusts the heat scale, so it's 1.35 versus I think 1.23 or something. And then the firepower is 87. It's not as good as it was before, but it works out on the end. And then of course 64.8 as the speed. And then I'm running 10, 11, 12 tons of ammo. Wow, that's a little excessive. And then half a ton of ammo for the NARC with 4 double heat sinks. I don't know what to say. I just love this. Sometimes I run 4 ATM 6s like you see here. And other times I run 2 ATM 6s and 2 ATM 9s. But consistently I have the 4 ER medium lasers. And this is a build that I came up with. Nobody else was doing this. And I wanted this specifically. I purchased this mech specifically because I've got a lot of sun spiders. And the one thing that they all have in common is they don't have very good weapons on the torso to complement your missiles. So I purchased this guy with the intent of putting the prime arms on here. And this gives me 4 ER medium lasers and 7 tons of ammo and 4 double heat sinks, which is excessive. But with these 4 ATM 6s, I can alpha strike these all day long. I fire these every single time, all 4 of them together. And it works. It dishes out the damage. A lot of times I'll run the 2 ATM 9s and the 2 ATM 6s, but this also works exceptionally well, and with the faster rate of fire than the ATM 9s, which are 5-second cooldown, this has 4 seconds. I can fire these more often, which leads to more damage. Yeah, here we go. When you absolutely positively got to kill somebody in one shot, 4 ATM 9s on an alpha strike that you can do regularly, you could probably do 2.5 alpha strikes before you get into overheat. That's one right after another, by the way. And it says it has a firepower of 84, but we've already established that this firing all 4 of these in close range, you're going to get 22 on each one of these, so that's 88 damage right there, which is already higher than the firepower rated by 4. Plus, you still get the 12 on top of that, so that's 100 damage on an alpha strike. And you can fire all 6 of these weapons at once, one time. So if somebody gets too close and you got to give them a little bit of chin music, you're going to core somebody out, even if they're an assault mech. And I put light mechs like Pirate's Banes in the dirt in one shot that got too close. Absolute chalk outline. The guy was still sailing through the air when he hit the ground dead. And I forgot to teabag him. I'm a bad person. But the heat management is 1.41, which is stupid, right? And then the firepower suggests, and then 81. So you have a speed of 81, you have a heat management of 1.41, and you can dish the damage out. Not getting a lot in the way of quirks, because this is a hodgepodge build. It's listed as a C, but it has the B arm left and right. And I did that so that I could get an ear medium laser on either torso. You can also switch these out and go with the heavy medium lasers, and that also works out really well. And then this has been a recent addition. One of my friends suggested that I give the Timberwolf a try again, since they've made a lot of improvements over the years. And I used to run Timberwolves when I first got my account. I had a single Timberwolf and I ran it all the time, and it was terrible. So this has 3 ear medium lasers and 4 ATM6s. In the next video, I'll talk about the lights and the medium mechs. But this thing is just really a lot of fun to drive, and you can alpha strike these all day long. They don't produce a lot of heat, and you can, if you don't mind sacrificing some ammo, you can go up to 2 ATM9s and 2 ATM6s. But realistically, I did that. I did a bunch of matches, like 5 or 6 matches, and I did matches with the ATM6s, and these just work out way better. It allows you to dish out more damage, and these are your high weapons, and then your 3 ear mediums are your lows. Anyway, I hope you like this video, and in the next series I'll be doing lights and mediums.